Hey everybody, welcome to Bura Tech. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about Udemy's stock technical analysis, and Skillsoft has acquired the Code Academy for $525 million. Alright, so let's take a look at the stock here. So the stock has rebounded off the lows of Udemy. So looks like it has been a bit oversold, going up a total of 9% from the bottom here, which, you know, at least on the month chart, it doesn't quite look at it. But still, it looks like we're down about 30% from, or 40% from the peak here, and around 35% from the IPO price, and then again 35%-ish from the bottom here. So as you can see, things are actually going quite well. And remember this technical analysis line that I drew here, and it looks like it has broken out of that. Now, to be fair, this is a pretty big drop, right? But as you can see, if we zoom in closer here, it did actually come up very close to this, and it could have come down, but it's now broke out above it here. So I expect kind of a new line to be, it's actually quite strong here, so I expect it to go up here. Now, of course, it's very difficult to actually time that here, although that candlestick is a very bullish sign of oversold. But of course, with technical analysis, you never actually know until you have like the bigger picture here. And so this is just something, take everything with technical analysis with a grain of salt, but it does kind of paint a picture as to the sentiment of the stock here. So as you can see, we're now doing quite well, 4% today, a good 9% from the bottom. So that's good. But what I want to talk about today is that Skillsoft has acquired the Code Academy. Now, the Code Academy is actually a very good, is actually one of the e-learning companies I do quite respect here. And you can see here that it's 40% cash, 60% stock, and will close the first half of 2022. So like, if you ever sold a business, you'll know that it takes a very, very long time to close. Right, but nevertheless, for the most part, it's not bad. This is very good news for the e-learning industry. And one thing that I will mention is that if you haven't understood, that Skillsoft is actually partnering with Udemy. Now, the big thing here is that they have 40 million users, so they're roughly about the same size as Udemy. And whenever someone wanted to learn to code, one of the Code Academy was probably one of the companies that you went to first. Now, now, of course, I already kind of knew how to code, but I've actually, like, way back in 2011, I actually did go to the Code Academy just to brush up my skills. It was quite a bit of a different company back then. It's actually quite good now. In fact, we could probably even go there. Right? And then I don't know if it's going to say here, but it's actually really good here. So they're selling a lot of they're definitely selling a lot of subscription here. So you can see that they have a very good array of items here. And what's really interesting about the Code Academy is that a lot of this stuff was interactive. Now, whenever I hear interactive, like coding tutorials, a lot of them don't do very well. But again, the Code Academy does a really good job of it. So that's actually really good. They have a lot of, just basically if you were to learn to code, this is one of the places I'd send you, other than my own company, of course, right? Because, and the other thing about like stuff like this is that this kind of interactive stuff is actually good, but you kind of get to a point where you fizzle out, right? Like, it's good for learning like more of the theory stuff, but at least our courses that we do, we use like the software itself, like either Xcode or Android Studio or Unreal, and then you get to build something for your practical project. Now, of course, they do that here as well, but they're not really as focused on it here. And so this is really good. I'm glad that this is happening, because the more companies that are getting acquired, the better it will be for the e-learning industry. And you can see here that, if you see here, again, the 40 million learners is key. So they'll be able to sell a lot of those items up to that here. Now, the big thing is that it looks like there's becoming, these companies might just kind of move into one big company And what that company will be, I don't know. They might merge. And then you have Udemy, Skillsoft, and Code Academy. Now, what's interesting about these is that these are three different kind of styles to learning. So you've got Code Academy with their interactive courses. Skillsoft is more business oriented, and then Udemy has their marketplace. And again, when I talk about this a lot on the channel, but like if Code Academy is all about their interactive tutorials, and Udemy is all about their marketplace. And Udemy doesn't like focusing on their marketplace as much, which they totally should, even though they don't want to. And it would be like the Code Academy just kind of stopping their interactive tutorials. And I think that would be a huge problem here. But last year, a cloud guru got purchased for more than $1 billion. I think it was 1.5 or 1.6 USD. They're Australian, so it was like over 2 billion Australian dollars. And the Australian dollar is a little bit worth less than the Canadian dollar, so I think it came out to like 1.5, 1.6 American. But anyway, this is not a bad chunk of change. Now, of course, if we pull out the trusty old calculator here, right? If we have 525 million, times 0.4, $210 million is going to be in cash, and then the 60% is the stock here. So there's that, which is kind of interesting. And the other thing is that the Code Academy did have a bunch of VC fundings. Now, when it comes to these acquisitions, it's really good because the more acquisitions you are, the more of the top talent will enter in here. And I think 2022 is going to be a massive year for e-learning. I think it's going to be really good. The only thing that will kind of make it not as good is if there's a huge stock market crash. That might be good, but like people might not have the disposable income. They might want to learn stuff for free, but they might not have the disposable income to actually learn, which is the way it was 10 plus years ago in the Great Recession. No one had any money. That could happen. The other thing is that people could just say, I'm done. Like if the pandemic is over, which is a very likely scenario, that will be done this mostly by summer next year, and then people don't want to be in front of their computer, so it can be very slow. That's another possibility. But I think that people, once they get into e-learning, they will never go back, right? And the reason why they will never go back is simply because it's super efficient, right? More on that next week. I'm going to record a video that's going to be launched next week when it comes to that particular thing. I found some really good news. It's something I've known all along, and I've even made videos about this on the channel here, right? So today is the 23rd. I'm going to be off next week, and if you follow this channel, I don't take as much breaks as I should, but I'm going to be off next week. And I'll be back in January to do more of these Udemy stock items here. But next week, I have pre-recorded a bunch of videos that I think are going to be amazing here. So be ready for that next week. And that's basically, I'm looking forward to a 2022. Remember, if you want to see what we're doing, you can follow us on Twitter at Mammoth Company. And that's really good. All of our stuff is kind of there on Mammoth Company, and there's going to be a lot of really good projects here. I'm super excited for next year. I cannot stress how excited I am for next year. When things like this, happen, and a cloud guru got purchased for, a lot of money, and Code Academy is now being purchased here. There's more that is going to be done, and I have a really good plan next year. And there's just, there's a lot of things that I want to do personally, right? So as you can see here, the Udemy stock is ending, at least the stock market's closed tomorrow because it's Christmas Eve, but it's ending on a good note. And of course, I think it's a good product. I don't think it's a short. So although if you did short here, you would make, half your money back. But again, shorting is the double black diamond of investing. So please do it with caution. But again, I wouldn't really do it personally, but that's just me. All right. So happy holidays, and I will see you guys in the next year. Bye.